Good morning, EAS family, students, faculty, friends of Bnei Akiva schools, and welcome to another morning of inspiration. This is not just a regular morning, it's also Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parshat Acharei Mot-Kedoshim. And we know that everything that takes place in the world is hinted in the Torah. And I think that when we hear the words Acharei Mos in these very troubling times, it conjures very emotional feelings and thoughts about the many people who have, unfortunately, been caught up in the terrible plague that is afflicting the world in each community, in every country, every shul, every yeshiva, every school, so many businesses. But the Acharei Mos is not the end. It continues with a double parsha of Kedoshim Tihiyu, that how do Bnei Yisrael react to a disaster, to a calamity, to such tragedies, is we have to look back at ourselves and understand that we are Kedoshim. We are a holy nation. In fact, Parshat Acharei Mos begins talking about Nadav and Avihu, the sons of Aharon HaKohen, who were nifter, who passed away when a fire from heaven came and sucked out their souls, their neshamos, as they did the avodah, the service in the Bet HaMikdash. And their intention was good, but nevertheless, they stepped over a certain border. And it's interesting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Aaron HaKohen that now you understand what I mean when I say Bikrovai Akadesh. I once told you that those who are close to me are going to be the ones to sanctify my name. And your sons were Zocha. They were the ones that merited to display the greatness of Hashem through their actions. So while the outcome to Aaron and his family and to the Bnei Yisrael was one of sadness and mourning, but nevertheless, everybody was able to take out from this tragedy a Kiddush Hashem. They were able to see that Hashem's existence is eternal and it prevails in all events that occur. So I was thinking to compare that to the name of the double parsha, that it's Acharei Mos, immediately after a death, and when someone succumbs to a decree from Shemayim, Kedoshim. We need to take stock, we need to take inventory, self-reflect, and think about the fact that we are an Am Kadosh, we're a holy nation. We celebrated Yom HaAtzmaut yesterday and the day before, Yom HaZikaron, and again, immediately after the Yom HaZikaron, which is like Acharei Mot, commemorating and reflecting on the neshamas of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for the survival of Eretz Yisrael and all those who live therein. And it gave hope for the entire Jewish people at that time and even in this time, that we will have a geula, we will have a redemption. And immediately after that, Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut. When they look at ourselves not necessarily as an Am Chafshi, but an Am Kadosh, a holy nation B'Artzeinu, in our land. So the two concepts can come together. This time of quarantine, when we are secluded in our homes, in our property, in our familial setting, obviously there's a lot more time to self-reflect and to think. And when a Jew has time to think, they choose to occupy their time with something productive. Sometime when they could look in the mirror, look at their children, look at their families, look at their parents and grandparents, reflect on their education and the Batei Knesset that they pray in, and say, look how we have surrounded our lives with Kedusha. We have instilled and ingrained in the fiber of our nation holiness. The amount of prakim of Tehillim that have been completed throughout the world is overwhelming, as there are teleconferences with shiurim, teleconferences of Tehillim, and many inspirational talks to give encouragement to our people and to others not to give up and not to despair in the restrictions that this situation has placed upon us, but on the contrary, to gather our families together, to sing, to pray, to schmooze, and to play together, so that the family bond and the family unit can truly make every one of our homes into a Beit HaMikdash, into a place of Kedusha. And while we pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that none of us should be exposed to any of the afflictions of the situation at hand, and of course, as we adhere to all of the guidelines that have been laid out for us by the experts in the medical field and the Ministry of Health and our Rabbanim, who have sacrificed the Kedusha of the Beis HaKnesses, the Beit HaMedrash, and our schools, our families, in order to protect the health and welfare of our people and all those that are near and dear to us. And one may ask, how were we able to sacrifice the Kedusha of all of these very, very holy places and the holy people that occupy these places? Of course, there's a mitzvah of v'chai b'hem, that we are commanded to make sure that we live by the Torah, and if anything puts our lives in any type of mortal danger, the mitzvos are set aside, so we should be able to survive and thrive, to carry on the lofty identity of Bnei Yisrael and our close relationship to Hashem. I was thinking, just as a little thought of inspiration to start your day, why is it that we are now in our homes and all the activities that we normally do out of our home are taking place in our home? And it came to me the thought that we know the Chazal say that when Mashiach comes, which I think we're all confident that he's at the threshold of each and every door. When Mashiach comes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to uproot all of the Batei Knesset, the shuls, the houses of prayer, and the Batei Midrash, and the places where Torah is learned, and those places are going to become a mikdash, and will be transported to Eretz Yisrael to be alongside the new Beit HaMikdash that will be burnt and ascend from heaven in fire. All of the places of Kedusha that were created in Chutz La'aretz will be miraculously transported to Eretz Yisrael and implanted in the homeland of our dreams. So I was thinking that often when we think about Mashiach coming, in the back of our minds there's a little bit of a worry because we've built beautiful homes. We have nice cars. We have property. We have open areas in our homes and outside of our homes. And what's going to be when Mashiach comes? Eretz Yisrael, especially Yerushalayim, it's a pretty tight fit. So what am I going to do with my home? What am I going to do with all that I own here in Chutz La'aretz? While of course everyone longs for Mashiach to come and for us to ultimately be liot amchavshi ba'artzeinu, it's the tikva, is to be in Eretz Yisrael. But what's going to be with our homes? Are we going to have to leave them behind? And my thought was, just on a positive note, that I think if you walk around your house throughout the day, you'll notice in the morning a few people davening here. Then after breakfast, you'll notice in each bedroom there's a teleconference, and the boys and girls and the young men and women are tuning in to their Torah classes. The father is tuning into his online Zoom Daf Yomi Shir. The mother is hearing an inspirational talk by a featured speaker somewhere in a different part of the world. So what's happening is that our homes are now turning into shuls and yeshivas. Our homes are turning into places of prayer and of Torah learning. So how does that sound? When Mashiach comes, he's not going to skip over our homes and only take our shul. We're all going to raise a flag and say, this home is a Beit Midrash. This home is a Beit Knesset. So we deserve to go along. And I have no doubt that Bezrat Hashem, when Mashiach comes, each and every home that's absorbed, that's saturated in Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim, Ahava, Va'achva, V'Shalom V'Reos, our homes are turning in to Makomot HaKadoshim. So the Acharei Mos is really producing Kedoshim Tiyu. And let's think of our homes now as a Makom Kadosh. If something just doesn't go the right way, if someone's not talking the right way, we could stop them and say, I'm sorry, but this is a Beit HaMikdash. And if we wanted to go along, when Mashiach comes, we don't want to lag behind. Let's keep up the good work. Let's strengthen our Amunah. And truly, we will emerge from this as an Am Kadosh, a Mishpacha of Kedusha, a Kehillah of Kedusha. And with that holiness, we will connect to Mashiach Tzidkenu. We will connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We will connect to Artzeinu HaKadosha. V'viat Gal Tzedek. May Hashem answer all of our prayers for a refuah and a yeshua and a geula. B'mheira v'yameinu amen. Shabbat shalom to all.